We'll be starting shortly here in just a moment. Mr. Austin is going and getting a bottle opener because apparently the bottle of soda he's drinking today is not a twist off. Oh, unfair warning today. I am still sick. I'm still coughing my freaking head off. So I will apologize up front if you happen to hear me cough and whatnot. There's Mr. Spider, also known as Austin. Yeah, well, I started the audio. Still on the starting soon, so the blooper reel. Here we go. Blooper. Here we go. We're gonna do that classic Coca-Cola sound.
Oh. Not that one either. Come on. You know how to do it.
You know, it kind of helps if I'm doing this right. I was totally using the wrong portion of this bottle opener. There we
go. That part is not regular Coke.
Nope, not a regular Coke. Let's go ahead and transition over.
Woo!
Woohoo! We're back for episode 7.
About time. It's only been a week.
Yeah, it's only been a week. Thank you for everybody who's been joining us live or has been listening to us on the multitude of audio podcasts that's
around
available.
The world.
Yeah. We're up to 35 views for the first 6 episodes, so not doing too bad. Thank you for all.
I mean, for being a small podcast, that's actually really good.
Well, yeah, considering we're a little more than 2 months old at this point.
Yeah,
but
just a little bit more than 2 months.
So, yeah, thank you for anybody who's been joining us up until this point. Obviously, joining us for the insanity that is the two of us.
Ow.
Yeah, don't do that. It hurts.
Yep, especially after physical therapy.
And you know, and also shout out to my mother, who's apparently been listening to the podcast. Which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's kind of, she mentioned listening to the podcast, and I'm thinking, oh, Lord. I can't
even take a drink of that right now.
I should really watch what I say right now.
VG?
Love you, Mom.
VD?
Anyway, so today I'm drinking Private Selection. This is Kroger brand, if you will.
Actually, I didn't want to try that.
Irish cream soda. Go ahead.
I haven't had one yet.
Even though I'm sick, and you probably shouldn't be doing that.
Tastes like medicine.
It does. I guess in a kind of way it does.
Oh, God. Sidious is...
it's an Irish cream soda, so it's a little different than your traditional.
Sidious is here.
Yeah, Sidious is in the
rolling
chat.
On the floor, laughing. I'm pretty sure he is not on the floor though. So
no, because if he got on the floor, he'd never get up.
I was going to say it, but you finished
Help,
it.
I'm falling and I can't get up. Beep 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 beep. Anyway,
Sidious, you know where we are.
Yeah.
You can't target me. He said it.
Anyway, I think Sidious will actually be joining us on Saturday for our live stream. It's going to be 12 hours long. Anyway, sorry, we're laughing at the chat. For those in the
audio version
of this podcast. So yeah, we're gonna be doing a live stream. It's gonna be roughly 12 hours from time for my phone. From noon to midnight. We're gonna be playing a variety of things. We're also gonna do a special version of this podcast.
Where it'd probably be like, what do you feel?
What?
How long do you think?
Oh, who the hell knows? It
could be a longer than 12 hours stream. Easy.
Yeah, but we're going to start about noonish and end about midnight. And this is to celebrate his 100 followers.
We are now up to 112.
112.
I don't know how. The last time I looked at it, it was at 108.
Yeah, and I think you got a couple of subs, I think. 1 or 2, something like that right now.
1 right now because the other one did not resub.
Okay. So if you haven't followed or subbed, please do. We're going to be giving away a $25 Amazon gift card paid for by yours truly. And pretty much all you have to be is a follower. That gets you 1 entry. If you're a subscriber, you get 3 entries. So, and I don't know.
I'm putting the list back together this week.
Yeah, we'll be putting the list together pretty much at probably the first part of the stream. We'll go through the first part of the stream and then get the final tally. So, So make sure if you haven't, if you're not on Twitch and you're not following or subscribing, please do that. It really helps him out. And a reminder that for the time being, he will not doing his daily live streams, mostly because of his grades, which have slipped.
We don't need
recently.
to say that every time.
Oh, we got to keep reminding him why you're not here. So,
all they need to know is I possibly have another surgery.
No more surgeries. $210,000 worth of surgery.
I thought it was $370. Okay.
No, it was about $210,000.
$250,000 man right here.
Yeah, that was billed to the insurance this last year about this doofus.
I'm a happy little accident.
You're an accident, all right, but I don't know about happy. Aggravating.
Someone needs to clip that.
Aggravating, maybe. Well, if for anybody who doesn't know, this is the Spidercast Podcast. We stream live on Tuesdays, roughly 8-ish, somewhere between 8 and 8:30 typically.
We try.
At least we try. This is a professional podcast, so, time is fluid. And we're a father and son group, and we like to talk tech, gaming, life, universe, and everything. And, we have a lot of fun. Why don't you break down today's topics?
Okay, today's topics, we have a little bit of actually Machinima. The stuff about Machinima. I have not heard that name in a long time. Stuff with Apple. We have Metroid Prime 4. That's been like a rumored for how long?
We'll talk about that. Go ahead.
Fortnite Money Laundring. That's actually news to me. EA/Bioware Anthem issues this past weekend. Kingdom Hearts news. Bethesda and the Bethesda Fallout 76 jacket jokes.
Yep. We're talking Bethesda again. They just can't stop making them, like, they're digging themselves in such a big hole. It's not even hilarious. It's not even funny anymore. Go ahead and tell them what you're drinking.
I am drinking, and this is like completely out of the blue for me. I saw this and went, you know what? I'm actually going to give it a full try. The Coca-Cola Georgia Peach, and I am not a big peach liker. Well, the fruit.
I don't mind peaches. I can't eat fresh peaches. I'm as strange as it is. I usually am a fresh kind of person over canned, but I prefer canned peaches over fresh ones. I just can't.
Yes, Sidious. This is the weekly Bethesda segment.
Weekly Bethesda.
I think we need to just have a soundboard stuff where we go weekly Bethesda.
A soundboard. I am working on a soundboard, so it's coming. Trust me. We're gonna have all kinds of sound effects. It's explosions. But so anyway, first thing we're gonna talk about is the Facebook privacy bug.
FaceTime.
It's
FaceTime, not Facebook.
Not Facebook. FaceTime. That's an Apple product, not a Mark Zuckerberg product.
Even though there's plenty of news about that this past year.
So basically, what this bug comes down to, is the way this thing works is, let's say you're doing a FaceTime call with somebody, and then you go in and try to while they're ringing, you're trying to face call somebody else, even though that first person hasn't answered, you can start hearing audio and sometimes video of whatever the first person.
Well,
so basically,
I guess it's good I don't FaceTime people.
Yeah, thank God. For different reasons, but you're a teenager. I don't want to talk about that. So yeah. Anyway, very, very nasty bug. I don't even know how this whole thing started or what's caused it, but basically, I think Apple has responded by they've turned off group FaceTiming right now, and they said the bug will be fixed in an upcoming update in the next week or so.
Actually, I think the update has already rolled out. I just have not updated.
Yeah, so be careful if for some reason that's still active on your phone and you're trying to group chat. That make sure you be careful what you say and do, because you could be, being viewed and not known. So next,
just like falling asleep on a stream.
Yeah. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. So next, we're going to talk about Machinima. Now, for anybody who's not familiar with Machinima,
that used to be a very big YouTube name.
Very big YouTube channel.
They helped a lot of people get onto their feet today.
Yeah, they were a multi-channel network, but they also did things a little weird. They curated a bunch of content from different users. Where normally a lot of MCNs would help with things like promotion and external advertisements, things like that. That's what an MCN normally does on YouTube or a multi-channel network. In this case, they would curate they would pull in these YouTubers and say, "Hey, build content for our channel," and they would get a cut of the revenue. So they were bought out. They were acquired in 2016 by Warner Brothers Digital Networks, and then Warner Brothers Digital Networks in 2018 was acquired by AT&T. Now AT&T owns Fullscreen, which is another MCN here.
I've never heard it.
It's one of those things, unless you're kind of involved into that middle, it is rarely talked about. And here in the last week, pretty much every video on the Machinima channel was unknowingly turned to private. Like it's pretty much wiped off the face of YouTube at this point, and which is a really odd and kind of rare thing to do. I've got my own theories of why, and me and Insidious were talking about this, and he's like, "You're kidding?" I'm like, "No." I said they turned them all private, and he's like, "Why would they do that?" Because they would they'd be losing basic ad revenue from the whole library, and there's a huge library.
Oh yeah, especially with how many people they had
over the years. I mean, it's been around for quite a while.
I think some of the biggest YouTubers were once part of Machinima, and then once they got big enough, they branched off.
Well, like I said, a lot of them come in with deals and stuff, and did even just one-off special content for them, and which is why they got so big as they did. And they even had brand deals with like Bandai, and like they did Transformers stuff. I mean, it was a huge thing. And here's my theory on the whole deal. I think what ultimately the problem is that you got a company that had license deals with these all these YouTube channels that developed product for their channel, because obviously they have to have long-term deals because there's constantly revenue coming in for those videos. So I think what it is you got a company that got bought out by one company that almost immediately got bought out by another company that got folded into their subsidiary company, and there's not proper legal contracts with the current owner or operator of that channel. So I think it's a legal reason why that they did that, because normally a channel, when a channel gets acquired, like let's just say a DeFranco, if it was a DeFranco owns the content on that channel.
Yeah.
So if somebody acquired it, they would acquire all the content and all. He would have 100% full rights to everything from that channel, which is what he bought back when. Forget now what his MCN was. He was part of Discovery Channel network, because they did an MCN for a while, and then they kind of folded into a conglomerate.
What other big channel was he part of?
It got folded into a different conglomerate, and that's where we saw SourceFed go under.
Oh, yep.
And then he turned around and bought back his channel from them and gained 100% full rights to everything on the channel. But like I said, in that case, it was a very simple legal transaction. When you got this channel that's got hundreds of videos from multiple YouTubers or different content creators, thousands, dealing with the whole legal of who gets paid and what they get paid and how often they get paid and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of legal mumbo jumbo involved, and I'm sure they just didn't want to deal with it. So their idea was, we're just gonna clean the slate and be done with it. The Fullscreen basically come out with a small thing and said that they were going to create some new channel or something like that. I have a feeling it may get rebranded. It may come out with new content. I think that would be a mistake on their part, because there's so many people that follow that channel.
Machinima is going to be just like Megatron in the Transformer series. It will never die.
Yeah, well, yeah. Galvatron. well, Megatron, Galvatron, whatever, even Optimus Prime never die. I mean, they're the worst. I mean, it's literally kind of like Jesus and Satan. It's they just don't go away. But anyway,
I thought we weren't going to bring religion into this podcast.
yeah, that's as close as you're gonna get. But anyway, so like I said, I think that's my 2 cents of why that happened in the way it did.
I did not even hear about that.
It made its rounds on some of the YouTube news. I can't remember if DeFranco. I think DeFranco may have even.
I don't even watch him.
You don't watch DeFranco, so
I don't watch a lot of the news stations on.
But it made pretty big news around major media, and it was a big surprise because nobody knew it was coming. That was probably the big thing, because honestly, if people knew it was coming, they probably would have. There would have been archives done of the whole channel. But
like that was the startup of YouTube. That's what
they were very
That's what got YouTube to its name.
Well, they're very, very early in the big game, and they were very early in the MCN. I don't think they're the first, but they were big, and that
they were one of the few.
And big isn't always the best. So, as long as PewDiePie can hold that number 1 spot.
Oh my God, the king,
all hail King. I don't know. I don't have anything against PewDiePie. I give him credit for what
I can try to his voice, but I'm just going to get smacked.
Yeah, absolutely not. I will. It's right up there with the Barney
His
thing
intros. With the what?
It's right up there with Barney for me. I don't have.
I love you.
I will hit you on stream. I swear. I'll backhand you, boy. I hate that. I just. We got a story. Actually, let's tell that story.
Which story?
So when he was a little kid,
oh God, which one?
He had a Barney doll. And
Oh.
This Barney doll played that stupid "I Love You" song, and he played it not like day in day out, nonstop, like all the time. He was squeezing that doll.
True, not false.
And just oh my God. So one point.
I just saw Sidious in chat.
So at one point he fell asleep with it, and I had enough. So I didn't just take the batteries out. I ripped the whole voice box out of that.
Yeah, I think I woke up and saw a hole in the chest.
No, because it had the zippy thing in the back where you could tuck in the voice box.
I knew something was wrong.
But yeah, he started squeezing it, and it's like it wasn't playing the song, and he was so mad. And my wife, I was like, well, maybe the batteries, and she's like, well, we'll change the batteries. I'm like, no, we're not changing the batteries in that thing. And but yeah, and that's why I took the whole voice box. Like I ripped the voice box out because I knew if your mother went in there and she would have changed the batteries. Oh my God, I could have killed her for that toy. I hated that thing. It was so god awful, and it wouldn't have been so bad. But like I said, you squeezed and played that thing all day long. It was just atrocious. Yeah. But anyway, so moving on from Barney.
That was not even in the notes for today.
Why don't you read the next part?
Hold on, I want to see what Sidious said. He got very red-faced. Well,
he always gets red-faced. What are you talking about?
I'm always red-faced.
Yeah.
Next up on the docket, we have Metroid. Holy crap.
Yeah, Metroid Prime 4. This was announced at E3 2017. So it's been a while since we got an announcement. And the only thing
2 years now.
The only thing we got then was a title. That was it. It was just an announcement that they were starting development on a Metroid Prime 4, and the official announcement says Senior Manager Executive Officer. Oh my God, I cannot do Japanese names.
Senior Takahashi.
Yeah,
that's the closest you're getting.
I apologize. I can't do Japanese
I have
names.
murdered Japanese names before, and I will continue to do so.
Admitted that the development of the game thus far hadn't reached the standards of the publisher wanted, and the project has been rebooted. So essentially what they did is that they went, this is not working, we're starting over from complete scratch. And then apparently Retro Studios was a Texas-based team that developed the 3 previous entries in the series, was brought back in to do a sequel. Now, here's my thing. One, I'm glad that they openly announced, like there was a video. They did a proper video and did a proper announcement and said, "Hey, here's what the deal is. I know you guys are excited for this, but we got to start over. It just wasn't working out." And so they're going to bring in another team. They're going to change over to a team that's familiar with the series, that's done relatively well, I think, in the last. I'm not a big Metroid person.
Who was it that they're bringing in? Or did they not say?
Retro Studios is the company.
Retro.
Yeah, I like I said,
I don't think I've heard the name.
I'm not the biggest Metroid fan. I appreciate for what it was. It just never was like. I'll sit down and play it. I've played it before, but I don't buy the series. It's not enough for me to purchase.
I think I've barely ever touched Metroid, but just enough to understand what it is and who the character is.
Sidious would be the person to really talk to.
Yeah, he's the expert on that kind of stuff here.
Like he can sit and play like old school Metroid Prime or Metroid series. I've literally sat him watch on a retro pod just playing the crap out of the old school.
I think it was for the Wii. I saw him playing that one day.
Yeah,
I think you guys got me, and I just never played it. And he came up one time and he said, "Shame, shame, shame, go away." This
shame.
I was just about to say this is not a Game of Thrones episode.
That's good. That is going to be a soundbite for the soundboard it's going to be shame, shame.
What, when I don't know something finally?
Yeah. That's all the time. What are you talking about? But anyway, now the thing is, like, here's my also take about the whole thing. Regardless of what Nintendo has been saying lately, and they have adamantly said that a new console is not coming out anytime soon, blah 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 blah. I bet you in the next 2 years we're going to have a new Switch console of some sort. It's going to be the Switch Pro. It'll be something. It's going to be some upgrade. It's going to run pretty much the same OS. It's just going to have better graphics and better processor. And we're going to get, it's going to be kind of like the whole Xbox versus Xbox One.
You mean it's kind of going to be like Xbox saying, the Xbox One X is this last console, when we all know they're going to come out with another one.
Yeah. Like I said, the thing is, and this is not actually the show notes, but here's the funny thing. Apparently last year, the Wii outsold the PS4.
Yeah.
In 2018.
Wait, the Switch?
The Switch.
Because you said Wii.
Did I say? Oh
you
my
said
God.
Wii.
Did I say Wii? Oh
you
my God.
said Wii.
The Wii sucks.
Yeah, we're not talking about the wooden disc I put in it.
Let's not go there.
That took you 2 weeks to actually figure out what was wrong.
So, yeah. The Switch outsold the PS4, which is huge for Nintendo. But honestly, why did it sell? Smash Brothers.
Yeah, Smash Bros. Ultimate, Smash Bros. Mario Kart.
Mario
Kart Ultimate.
Something
8,
like that, yeah.
Or it was 8 something. That's what got them.
Nintendo.
That's what really got it going.
Yeah, Nintendo had an amazing year.
I think maybe the Zelda too. Maybe just a little bit for Zelda.
You know, I just don't follow enough on the Nintendo side, but it's because we don't have a Switch. And to be honest, I haven't bought a Switch.
Sidious has a Wii U, but we just never look at it.
I just haven't.
Hold up.
I haven't felt like the
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Thank you, Mr. Sidious. Yeah, I just haven't. I haven't broke down and bought a Wii yet. Or, oh my God, I keep saying Wii. This is gonna be one of those podcasts where it's like I'm gonna have to dub myself through the whole, like on the replay. You're gonna hear what sounds really off. Like you see my mouth say Wii, and it's gonna say Switch. Oh my God, I shouldn't cut. I better not do that again. I'm gonna cut. That'll get cut out and pasted on the internet.
I can go back and clip that whenever I want. You know that.
I won't back.
It's my channel.
But yeah, the thing is that the Switch has done really, really well. I haven't bought it because I just don't think the value is there for me. I mean, look, I just bought a PS4 finally. It finally was enough.
PS4. There was finally Xbox One S.
Well, and the only reason I bought the Xbox One S is because we're big Xbox players here at the house.
Your wife let you?
But besides that,
But yes, we are majority Xbox players
we're
here.
majority of Xbox and PC players.
Only reason why we got the PS4 was there's a few games that we actually wanted to play.
Yeah, there was finally enough games for me to pick up the system, and it was on sale. You know, it was $200. I'm like, because I wanted a new Xbox One, partly to play 4K Blu-ray, but partly because
You couldn't steal it away from me.
I kept fighting with him on
You
it.
couldn't get away from me long enough.
And so I wanted my own, so I didn't have to fight with him. But like I said, there was enough games to finally hit up a PS4. My thing is, I've said this, I will buy a Switch when it's $50 cheaper, comes with a solid game, and then I'll buy it.
Why? I think playing some Mario Kart would be fun, and then ruin this family.
Well, I mean, here's part of
There's no denying it.
Here's part of my problem. Okay, you spend $300 for the system, then you buy a game. Then you, of course, if you want to play multiplayer, you're gonna buy another set of controllers, and there's another $70 or $80. And then you got to buy a memory card because there's next to no memory in it, so there's another $30 or $40.
And yet they made it a multi-use mobile /
I give
station.
I give them credit for doing
mobility.
for finally building what the Wii U should have been. I give them credit for what they built. It is a cool console. I think it does have some design flaws, and we've seen that with things like the case that cracks around the heat vents and things like that. I think they didn't use good enough plastic, I think, in some of the initial designs. And then there's also been some problems with people scratching the screen from taking in and out of the dock. I think that's something that
should have been padded to begin with.
Yeah, that could have been prevented very easily, and there's fixes for that now, aftermarket. But
of course, like Nintendo won't admit to their own failures.
No. So yeah, that's my thing. Is like, I'm not spending $400 or $500 on that system. It's not worth it in my book, and that's my problem with it. That's the reason I haven't bought it. I would love to see. Honestly, I would love to see it at $200.
I was about to say, drop it at $100 instead of $50.
Yeah, I would love to see it.
That'll probably happen when it hits its 10-year mark.
It'll happen after the next Switch comes out. The Switch,
just like the Xbox and PlayStations.
Yeah, that's ultimately when that's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, it's a good thing that they're doing this. It was a good thing they're being upfront about it. Obviously, some fans are very disappointed. But in the same boat, I'd rather if they're gonna produce a better game, I'd rather be upfront about it.
Yeah.
And like I said, we never had an exact date for production, for release anyway.
That's kind of like 343 Studios coming and saying, "Hey, we kind of screwed up on the last few Halos. We're gonna rewrite that storyline."
Yeah, right. All right. So, next topic is Fortnite being used to launder money.
And I've actually seen some of this on, it was the Xbox looking for players, looking for groups stuff. People would actually advertise that stuff. So
what's happening, and this is a situation that the developers of Fortnite need to address. This is becoming a serious problem, apparently. And this is a report from Variety. Apparently, criminals are taking stolen credit cards, turning them into cash via a series of transactions that rely on the popular game by purchasing items or other content. And basically, they'll create a free account. They'll use the credit cards to purchase skins, digital items, things like that, and then sell the account logins via eBay, Facebook, whatever, and even places like the dark web are selling these accounts with basically stolen, from stolen money and getting cash for it. Yeah, this is a huge problem that just shouldn't be, but it is. We're in that digital age where everything, I hardly ever have cash on me. I always use my credit card, but I'm very protective of my credit card. A lot of it's funny. You You go to any store and they're all the time and they'll say, use your PIN, use your PIN, use your PIN. And what a lot of people don't realize is that when you roll through, as a credit card, there are fees that get charged to the vendor that uses the credit card processing. And I understand that, and I respect that, and I understand that can be a considerable amount of possible profit from that vendor. But in the same boat, if you use your PIN number and your PIN number gets stolen, and somebody creates a fake credit card with your information, they get a hold of your Stripe or whatever, and they get a hold of your PIN code, they can, in essence, they can not only steal your money, but it may, in some cases, it may or may not be covered. Your money may not be covered like it is with a credit card. So when you use your card as a Visa, and let's say somebody, and this has happened to us before, we had somebody try to charge a bunch of money out of Mexico on one of our cards before. It got immediately flagged, obviously, and they denied the transaction, and they sent us a new card. Well, if that had went through, if it was something that would have processed and went through, because we've had that happen where somebody did that local, and I've got suspicion, I know how that happened. In those situations, within a few days, the credit card company typically will return the money to your account or the bank or whatever. But as a debit, if somebody gets a hold of your PIN number, your debit PIN number, and uses it, it's not necessarily protected in the same way a credit card is. So they may not have to give you your money back, or they may not have to do it as quickly as it would if it was a Visa or MasterCard or whatever. Mm-hmm. Which is is a huge thing if you're out traveling. That's a very important thing, not to use your debit card, or not to use your card as a debit. You need to use it as a credit card to protect yourself. And this is a thing that, unfortunately, we've seen this some similar things with other games. They have this type of currency.
Yeah,
but they have
happened before.
They do have protections in place to try to prevent a lot of, like, if they see a lot of weird transactions and things like that, they will, especially on a brand new account, a lot of companies will temporarily flag that, or some of them won't even let you buy stuff until you've had your account like 30 days, just to keep people from doing this type of thing. So they need to step up. They need to take it and fix this problem. This is, like I said, this is a serious problem. All right, I'm gonna let you take lead on this one, because
this one's mine.
Yeah, this one's totally his. I have little interest in this game whatsoever.
Which, even though when it first showed, you were decently good for it. Anyway, this is about the Anthem VIP demo weekend that happened this past weekend, and this is it's the 29th now, so
it was
Friday to Sunday, I do believe. So this past Friday to Sunday, the Anthem VIP demo went live, and there was numerous problems going on with it. Well, one of the biggest problems was the second that it went live, thousands of players wanted to enter the game at the second they could. They were waiting in line. Well, it went live. They hit play. I think only about an estimated about 500 players got in right off the bat.
And there's two.
I mean, it is EA.
Yeah, there's two stories going around. One says the servers got overloaded, which makes sense based on some of the problems. But the other problem is that this problem turned into a login problem for their other IPs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's even covered in the article I have.
Yeah. So, people who were trying to play other EA games were unable to log into, the EA launcher, and this was a huge problem. But this is why they have beta events and demo events to try to work out the bugs.
And there is actually another beta event coming up.
Yeah, they're doing another beta event
from the 1st to 3rd.
And I think anybody who tried to log in,
they're getting a free skin in game
or something. Yeah, in game. So I think they're doing the right thing. I think the whole not it
But
affecting
see, their excuses with they came up with multiple excuses and what the problems were, and
there's been a couple of different stories
and I
rolling
actually
around.
have covered this in this one, so
there's a couple different stories about what may have happened. Like I said, some of them says the servers got overloaded, some says a bug arise to the login because of the launch of the game. Like I said, there's a couple different other stories, but ultimately they got to get it fixed. They got to hopefully the next beta will be smoother. As far as I know, they've got the problem fixed as far as the login issue.
I do believe they did, but let's see here. They had numerous amount of issues this past weekend. One was an infinite loading screen. We've seen many games that had that.
Yeah, apparently it was getting
opening.
to like 95 or 98% and then hanging.
Yeah, and we also had some accounts being blocked from the demo because of how they had been flagged internally. So there's also that. There's another one apparently.
It says interactions between ISPs and players' home networks. And that could be.
It's a possibility, but
yeah, it's a possibility. But there's a lot. There's a lot of technical in between that. I'm not about to get even.
But in all three cases, Robinson from Bioware said that they are working towards solutions, with the infinite loading problem being the toughest. But overall, they may have not been able to resolve the problems during that weekend. He said that many players are not seeing this issue, and the last thing that they wanted to do is to destabilize the experience for everyone playing.
Yeah, and I was listening to Kind of Funny Games podcast, and you can find them pretty much everywhere YouTube.
Yeah,
and on your major.
I'm subscribed.
Really good, informative group, and they do daily stuff, so they're up to date on most things. But I was listening to one of their podcasts, and they were talking about this thing, and one of the problems that they were having not only was the login issue, but they were also having rubber banding issues really bad.
There was also another issue where some players were not able to leave the hub world, apparently, where if they tried to launch their first expedition with friends or whoever, even by themselves, it wouldn't let them. Yeah. It would start up that infinite loading and just cut them out.
And I've had a few friends. In fact, one of them, James, posted asking, hey, what's everybody, who's interested in this game? What are they going to play it on?
I actually forgot to respond to that.
And I kind of said my thing was,
you don't have the time, and you're not really interested.
Yeah, in it. I don't. Even if it is a kind of a good game, and I do like Bioware, a lot of Bioware products, I just don't have the time to put into.
I feel like everyone who's really going to want to get into this game is going to be like Destiny players, because there's a lot of stuff saying this game's going to be kind of a mix of Destiny and The Division, and that's coming from some of my friends who actually played this past weekend.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I don't have the time. In fact, I mean, I'm not even probably halfway through Red Dead Redemption 2.
I think you're a little further than me right now.
I got Spider-Man to still play.
God of War. Uncharted.
Yeah, I got the newer Uncharted from this past year. So my backlog of games is high, and like I said,
the thing is, we got all those at the same time, so it's not really. It's not like we waited a few months. You still didn't have that game. The other one.
I haven't even loaded up Fallout 76, and I'm gonna kind of wait.
I loaded it up, tried playing it. Gonna wait a little longer.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait a little while before I truly jump into.
I did not even know how to save the game and leave, so I think I just lost all my stuff. But it gave me a chance to restart.
Yeah, it's excuse me. It's one of those things I'm like I said, I'm not that interested in this game. I appreciate it for what it is, but just like Destiny, I don't have the time to put into that. So,
but anyway, so going on with this, there was a multitude of problems going on with it, and they basically said none of these problems that had spiked up arose during the internal testing phase, which
that's what a beta or demo is. So.
Well, no. they tested it in their building, like with their staff. And I'm pretty sure most studios do that. They run it with the staff real quick, see if the game works there, and if it does, then they send it out.
Yeah, but there's always the problem. You're dealing with an internal private server that's they're direct connected to.
See, they even said in that article that they had plenty of space, including some extra space that they had reserved just for Anthem.
Yeah. All right, so
but was it even ready to go yet? That's the whole thing.
That's the whole thing. But we'll keep talking about it as things roll up and
launches on the 22nd.
Yeah, so it's coming up. So Kingdom Hearts. That
was a big one.
Yeah, that's a big one. I've always had kind of a love-hate relationship with.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Cities internal staff few hundred, demo thousands.
Yeah. Kingdom Hearts is one of those games like I've always appreciated, but I've never dabbled into. Partly because it's not a game I want to pay full price for. It's a game that never goes on sale. It's kind of like Final Fantasy, never on sale hardly ever.
See, Kingdom Hearts was a exclusive to PlayStation until recently at the XO18 conference that they announced it.
Yeah. So the first I haven't looked at what the current one, because it technically did worldwide release today, but the early Japan releases in the early reporting, the people that got preview copies, it was set at 89 on the PS4 Metacritic score.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. A lot of people saying they like the game. But there has been one kind of controversy, and this deals with GameStop, and that's really where more of this topic.
Come on, GameStop, you're losing a fighting. You're losing a downhill battle.
Yeah, GameStop cannot seem to develop a proper
stance with anything.
They just don't have a good strategy. They're not customer friendly. They're not.
Here, we want to resell you all these items
at 95% of the cost, but we only want to pay you 20% on the back end.
5%.
And it's one of those things. They're not very upfront. They have shady selling practices. They treat their employees like crap. Didn't
we actually have a friend who worked at GameStop?
I've had several friends who worked at GameStop at one time or another. And there's a long list of things that are wrong with GameStop, unfortunately. And I have kind of a love-hate relationship.
And sadly, everything is going to digital, so GameStop, with all their physical copies, is losing a big battle.
Their long-term financial problems.
I don't see them making another 5 years.
Yeah, it's very unlikely. But in the case of this, GameStop cancels Kingdom Hearts 3 Special Edition PS4 pre-orders, which is causing huge frustration from fans because Kingdom Hearts, like Final Fantasy and stuff like that, they have a huge fan base. They're very, very loyal to the series, and they will pretty much buy anything you put in front of them. I mean,
it's kind of like the Fallout stuff until Bethesda screwed up.
Up until this year. So they called it an unforeseen issue that they sold more pre-orders than they had consoles.
I'm sorry, what?
They said unforeseen issue caused them to sell more.
Now wait, was it a PS4 custom for Kingdom Hearts?
Yes, it was a PS4 exclusive, had Kingdom Hearts decals all over, and had a special controller that went with it.
And they didn't think beforehand how much that was going to sell for?
I've had this same problem. This is one of the many reasons why I don't pre-order games anymore through GameStop, because I have pre-ordered, went into a store, and they were out. Think Geek physical store. You don't get me started on that crap. Honestly, the Think Geek stuff probably is better, but GameStop just doesn't understand. Like they do not plan properly. They don't. But I've had that problem where I've walked in a store with a pre-order and they didn't have the product. I've had that happen before. I've had to go to another store to get my game. For the life of me, it's been years ago since the last time I pre-ordered, but that has happened before where they did.
Halo 5 Guardians. You did pre-order that because you got the controller with it.
Yeah, I did, but I want to say it might have been the Halo before that.
Halo 4?
Yeah, it might have been.
I don't think you pre-ordered that.
I could be wrong. It was a game. It was years ago, like I said, several years ago. But it's not this is not the first time this has happened, and it's sad. Like I said, they have no concept of proper customer service. So they gave customers a $25 coupon for future purchases. And here's the other problem. Some of these people had already traded in other PS4 consoles as a part of the trade-in to purchase the item. So they're now
they already traded in and now they don't have the console.
Yeah, they don't have a console. So they're kind of double out in the same boat. And
hey, GameStop, can I get my console back? Sorry, sir, we already resold that. What?
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? What are they gonna do in that? But there's been some, like I said, there's been a lot of people talking that they had traded other games or other systems to get this specific console because they wanted this special edition one. And I've had usually this is the problem with the last couple of pre-orders when it comes to like the Bethesda special edition, the collector's edition. I always want to get the collector's edition. I'm at the point in my life where I can sort of afford that type of thing.
Every time it comes out, though.
Well, the problem is that it is always expensive. It's always at the wrong time of the year. It's right before these kids go back to school, and that's a time when
we go back to school, Christmas.
Yeah, I got a whole lot of birthdays and then back to school right behind it. Whenever those come out.
Oh, sorry.
But the thing is, they sell like now. Like if you're not sitting on the button.
Hey everybody, we're selling this Pip-Boy.
Yeah, we're selling a Pip-Boy. It's gone.
It's gone within the first 5 minutes.
That's gonna be another soundbite, and it's gone from South Park. So yeah,
they killed Kenny.
Oh gosh, that's gonna start. We're gonna go in a downward spiral. But yeah, I just don't.
Tiny Tina, Donkadonks. I'm a horrible person.
There's a special hell for you.
I don't even know what he was trying to say with that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one.
It was like exclamation point I. What?
All right. Now back to a topic that we keep coming back to because they keep putting their foot in their ass.
I'd buy that for $1.
Oh, okay. Bethesda announced a Fallout 76 leather jacket.
Was it even leather? Was it even leather?
It's
If it's going to be a leather jacket, I want it to be a hard leather jacket and embedded with 76 on the front, big number 76 on the back.
Pull out, scroll down there.
Is there a link to a picture?
Yeah,
of
there's
it?
a link to a picture. I think it's the first one. Yeah, it's the first one. Nope, it's the other one.
No, that's it.
Put that on stream. You're gonna have to move it to the other monitor though.
Move it to this monitor.
Yeah, just full screen it.
But then I need to. 9. Where did it go? Where did it go? There.
You got to transition. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. You guys are seeing this real quick.
All right. So yeah, this is the jacket. It's supposed to be lambskin leather.
Lambskin.
This thing looks atrocious. I have all kinds of Fallout memorabilia, and I don't care if this was $50. I wouldn't buy it. There's been a lot of jokes and a lot of memes going around about the trash bag.
That does not even look like leather.
Everybody has been calling it the trash bag jacket, kind of making fun of the whole not canvas jacket.
Bag.
Huh?
You said jacket. Bag.
Oh yeah, the canvas bag, but yeah. Sorry, I'm tired. It's been a long week. But yeah,
hey, you get to sleep in tomorrow morning.
Maybe not.
You don't have to get me up.
My car may actually be done tomorrow.
Oh.
So yeah, if anybody knows, my car ended up in a little boo-boo accident. I had some idiot
3 weeks ago, a month ago.
Oh shoot, dude! It was the first part of December.
Yeah, but you
But
just now.
My
like,
car's been in the shop for over 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's almost been a month.
Pleather. You know what? I think pleather would have been better than what this thing looks like. But yeah,
I should have wore the hoodie.
It's atrocious. It really is. It's ugly.
It looks horrible.
It looks really, really horrible.
Why Bethesda? Just can you give us a straight answer here? Are you going through your midlife crisis? I mean,
I think.
Are you trying to tell us you want to break up? What?
You know. You know what? I'm not gonna go there. There's a term and a phrase that somebody told me years ago that I find hilariously funny because I have a dark sense of humor, but it's a kind of a joke that if I would say
this is a place for horrible people.
If I would say it out loud, I would have every snowflake on the planet.
Okay, they need to learn some discipline.
They would come
not just
us.
Discipline. They need to learn not to get offended.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not gonna
take a joke, people.
Yeah.
This is a PSA. Take a joke. We need to have that as another one.
Yeah, that should be it. You're right. There should be a PSA. Go ahead and switch that back over. But yeah, it's like I said, the whole thing is just atrocious and it's horrible, and I don't know. I don't get it. Bethesda whoever's in charge of their marketing department needs to be fired. That's pure and simple. The accountants and the marketing department need to go. They need somebody else.
If they're trying, I mean, seriously, what are they trying to do?
All right, I think we had. I know there was something else. Was that it? Did we really?
I think that's it, and we're just under the 1 hour mark.
Wow.
Well, are there any other topics you want to just revisit real quick? I mean, we could say something about what we were talking about earlier that I didn't put on the notes.
What? I don't know.
The Below Zero.
Oh, the Subnautica.
Below Zero.
Below Zero.
I can quickly pull it up.
Yeah, that's.
You want to put that in this one real quick?
Yeah, we'll talk.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk for a minute for it while you're pulling it up.
Subnautica
was one. Yeah.
Subnautica, the original game, is.
It was one of the first game.
It's a fully.
What happened with the? Hold on.
What was it?
Oh, we should talk about the Epic thing.
Which Epic thing?
We'll talk about Subnautica here for just a moment. Subnautica is a weird kind of adventure survival game. I have
no idea if there's audio on this page or not.
We started playing it because it was on the Epic. It was one of the first games free on the Epic Store, and graphically the game looks great. It really, I'll be honest, it even pushes my desktop pretty tough.
Really, it never did with mine.
Yeah, but if you turn like everything up, it will push the. I won't say the limits, but it will definitely push things up.
We don't want to know about your withdrawal, Sidious.
Yeah. Do not mind anything Sidious might say in chat. He's on drugs today. He high. Yeah, he had a procedure done today. So now they're going to come up.
I'm actually really liking the look of this so far.
Yeah, they're coming up with like an expansion.
No, it's not an expansion. It's a full second game. It's a second game.
But I thought it was part of the.
No.
Like you have to have the first game?
No.
No?
It's a full second game.
Oh, wow. Well, it says expansion, though.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. Look at the top. Subnautica expansion.
Where?
Right there.
It's probably talking about series expansion. Expanding the series, expanding the universe of Subnautica. Think a little more than just video games. Anyway, Subnautica Below Zero is technically going to be their. I think it's a standalone expansion. And what are you looking up? Okay.
Go ahead.
But it's going to be their standalone expansion, I do believe, where it's taking place on a second world, I think 4546B, if I'm correct. I read this article like 3 days ago. And I was told not to put it in unless for filler. But anyway, filler. And so we've
You're mumbling.
Yeah, I know I am. All three of us who play games in this house have played Subnautica.
It's a cool game. Certainly,
there's actually a live stream about it going on tomorrow night. Go to Unknown Worlds for Subnautica Below Zero. It will tell you. It has a timer on there for the stream, and 2 links for both Twitch and YouTube where it goes live.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool game if you're kind of into that adventure genre. Like I said, it's a bit of a survival game, which is really cool. Yeah, I forgot. I meant to put this into the doc, and I forgot. This kind of come up last minute. So Epic Games, who we've talked about in a previous podcast, who started their own kind of like Steam style Steam store, Steam style store where you can buy multiple video games, and they're giving bigger cut to different for different game companies that are coming over to their platform, and it was this. Okay.
Before it was listed as a story expansion.
Okay. And so here in the last few days, it was announced that the Tom Clancy's Division 2 would be exclusive to the Epic Games Store, which is a big thing for them.
Even though I'm getting into Tom Clancy's Division, I want to get the second one, though. So that.
Yeah, and then it was announced that Metro Exodus, which has been on pre-order for a while on Steam, is going to be exclusively now on the Epic Game Store. And apparently anybody who's purchased a pre-order on Steam will still get the game, still get all the updates, but any further purchases or pre-orders are going to be done only through Epic. Which is a real this is showing that Epic is really putting their best foot forward. They're trying
to get everyone.
They're trying to put a serious competitor to Steam.
I think they're really trying to put Steam down.
Well, I mean that's always the attempt, but I mean, and I heard something to the effect that the game is even because of the generous split from Epic that. That game is going to be $50 instead of $60, so it's actually going to be cheaper.
Oh, so they actually cut a deal.
Yeah, they cut a deal because the higher revenue.
So this isn't just good for the people behind Metro; it's going to be good for the consumers, the customers.
Well, and that's the thing. It's always been a theory that type of thing is the reason why companies are going digital, because they can share their less of the profits and blah blah blah. Now, obviously, a lot of people said, well, why don't they help, make their games a little bit cheaper and da 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 da. But ultimately, they're going to go, well, you're normally already paying $60 for it anyway. Why don't you pay $60 for it?
Because we ain't getting a hard copy.
Well, and that's a lot of people's complaints. They're like, well, normally, I get a manual and I get a physical copy that I can sell or store or whatever, and that's the reason a lot of them are willing to pay that extra price. But as a digital, digital format, a lot of people don't want to pay full price, and a lot of digital stuff, I very few games I have paid full price for, even on Steam.
Yeah, I tried to look for any.
I hit the Steam
discounts
sales.
I can.
Yeah, I hit the Steam sales a lot.
We know.
For that type of thing, and but yeah, I mean, this is really, like I said, putting throwing eggs at Valve as far
$50 on Epic Store.
Yeah,
yep, confirmed.
Yeah, it's $50 on the Epic Store, so you're getting it for $10 cheaper. And I wonder if I bet you the Steam people aren't getting a discount for the ones that are pre-ordered. I haven't heard that whether or not they did that, but
technically,
I bet you they're not.
Well, no, I don't think they are. Want to know why?
Well, the whole point of it being $50 is the fact that they're getting it cheaper because they're getting a bigger cut of the revenue.
So what you're saying is this will basically be the Tomb Raider fiasco.
No, that's completely different. Completely different. No, that's completely
okay. Not as bad as the Tomb Raider fiasco.
No,
but
the
people who pre-ordered it and are expecting to get their copy,
so
might want their $10 back.
So yeah, January 28th. Looks like that was when the switch happened over to Epic. And like I said, anybody who pre-ordered the game still gets the game through Steam, still gets the updates, and DLC, but that's all you're gonna get.
But they will have to get it through Steam.
Right. But the game will no longer be available on Steam after yesterday. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it was really, really taking a stab at Epic, or Epic taking a stab at Steam, and I don't know, I'm kind of interested. I was a little worried at first. I was like, this is going to be like the EA launcher. It's just going to be another crappy launcher that I have to download to my computer and blah, 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 blah. Here's my thing about Steam. The thing I like about Steam is I love the Steam sales.
Yeah.
Especially on the older
They're very generous with the sales at some points.
Yeah, I love the sales. I love the fact that, especially even on older titles, it gives me a chance to build my library of games that maybe I haven't played, or maybe I've owned at one point.
Games that you will touch once and never touch again.
That I've owned before and I'd like to own again. And I love the fact that I can curate it into one location. That's always been my thing about Steam. And Steam's been at least pretty good, even if it's a game that suddenly, for different reasons, gets pulled. As long as I've downloaded it, I still have it available to me. So I don't lose it. And they do a lot of decent work as far as integration for helping, deal with, finding my friends and
that's a whole lot easier on that.
That's the kind of thing I really enjoy about Steam. Epic has still got a long way to go in that respect, but
they're getting better.
I do think that they've got a good chance of being a solid competitor, and they always say that competition's good for the industry, and it'll drive down prices. It'll make things more competitive. So
now let's see who else throws their hat into the ring after seeing what Epic's doing.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But
I mean, I don't think EA is gonna step in after everything.
Just not enough people trust EA, and they're good at making things look good and be shitty. That's what they're good at.
They're basically the hype man that never says no when they really should say no.
Yeah, well. Anyway, so that's going to be the podcast for this week. Like I said, we'll do a special podcast on Saturday at some time. I don't know what the timing is going to be. We'll announce that probably at the beginning of the stream on Saturday. Like it's going to be starting about noon. It's going to go till about midnight. We're going to do a variety of different games. We're going to go pretty much through the ages: Atari, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis,
and we're going to be putting together the games list that we're going to be playing.
Yeah, that's.
I think we might have that as like a little section. Oh, go here and you will see all the games that we're playing today.
So yeah, like I said, we'll go through and we'll play. We'll give our opinions of all the different games from the different eras, and like I said, we will be giving a $25 gift card away at some point during the stream. I don't know when that will happen.
Street Fighter Tournament.
So make sure to follow, make sure to subscribe. If you're a subscriber, you get extra entries.
Now, see, are we just adding those onto the follower one if they follow it as well, or are we?
They'll get 3 total. If they're a subscriber, they'll get 3 total. If they're just a follower,
I thought we were going to max it out at 4. Like, okay, you get 4 tries total.
No, it'll be 1 if you're only a follower. You get 3 if you're a sub.
Okay, because I even though I'm the owner of the channel, I was confused.
Yeah. Anyway, and like I said, there'll be a variety. I'll be playing some. He'll be playing some. We'll play some together.
We might get Sidious in.
Yeah, I think we're going to get Sidious in for a couple of them, so he can.
We might get Spider Sis, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe some Fortnite. Maybe we'll get her to play some Fortnite with us.
Oh God.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do some Fortnite.
We'll get all the different systems up and running in the house, and we'll see how we can push our bandwidth.
Yeah. So make sure to join us on Saturday. Otherwise, we do this show live on Tuesdays about 8 p.m. ish.
We try
Eastern Standard Time. Otherwise, you can find us on most major podcasts: Spotify, Apple, Google.
You need me to bring it up.
Probably because I'm horrible.
We are on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Breaker, Castbox, Pocket Cast, and Radio Public.
Yep, and you can also join Spider's Discord channel. You can find that in a link in the description if you're watching on YouTube or watching live. And you can find him at twitch.tv. Oh God,
Twitch.tv
/
SpiderARA713.
All right, and I'm Travis.
I'm Austin.
And this is the Spidercast. Have a great day.
See y'all Saturday.